One. All right. Welcome, everybody. I am Jason Hull, the founder and CEO of DoorGrow, the world's leading and most comprehensive coaching and consulting firm for long-term residential property management entrepreneurs. For over a decade and a half, we have brought innovative strategies and optimization to the property management industry. We have spoken to thousands of property management business owners, coached, consulted, cleaned up hundreds of businesses, helping them add doors, improve pricing, increase profit, simplify operations. And we run the leading property management mastermind in the industry. At DoorGrow, we believe good property managers can change the world, and that property management is the ultimate high trust gateway to real estate deals, relationships, and residual income. We are on a mission to transform property management business owners and their businesses. We want to transform the industry, eliminate the BS, build awareness, change perception, expand the market, and help the best property management entrepreneurs win. Now, let's get into the show. So my guest today is Alan Porter of Strategic Wealth Strategies. Welcome, Alan.
Well, thank you for having me on.
Yeah, glad to have you. And we're going to be talking about, he's going to be sharing how to reveal the powerful financial strategies the wealthy use, how you can apply them too. Alan will be uncovering the IRS-approved playbook for retiring completely tax-free, explain the millionaire tax strategies business owners use to keep more of what they earn, and break down Wall Street myths to show how to build lasting wealth without market volatility. So, Alan, again, welcome to the show. And why don't we kick things off by give us a little bit of background on you. How did you get into entrepreneurism, into business, and give us a little bit of backstory so we understand how this all came to be.
Well, I never thought I'd be doing this. I retired from the military back in 1993. I was a Black Hawk instructor pilot. And I told everybody I had a safe landing for every takeoff, and I dodged all the bullets, and I had a great career. And I got involved in the real estate and mortgage business after that, up till about 2008. But I've had some tragic things happen to my family. In 2009, I live in Fayetteville, North Carolina. My son lived in Little Rock, Arkansas with his wife, Lynn. She was 39, and they had two little girls. They were 7 and 4. Well, we went down there for Christmas in 2009, but my son had been 100% disabled for 3 years and still not getting the disability.
Wow.
And January 5th changed my entire life. His wife, Lynn, called me up. She said, Alan, I've been diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer, and they've given me 6 months to live. Of course, we were all devastated.
Yeah.
But there's a huge financial problem that's developed in my son's family because there's no money coming in. Now, I'm helping him out, but I don't know for how long until I'm going to have to sell my house or do something.
Yeah.
But I was like 99% of the people out there, Jason, that thought life insurance was a death product that you had to die to benefit from it. Well, little did I know she had a terminal illness rider on her life insurance policy that she could access within 1 year of diagnosis of this deadly disease. And it was completely tax-free, which I knew nothing about. And it was hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Really?
And if it had not been for that, my son would be bankrupt, and it took a huge financial strain off of me.
Yeah.
Well, to make a long story short, she died a year later, so I moved my son back here to Fayetteville, North Carolina. But about a year after that, my daughter, who's an oncology nurse, and her husband's a doctor, they live up in Raleigh, North Carolina, had just given birth to my third grandson. And she was diagnosed with breast cancer, and it was very bad. We didn't think she was going to live. Well, now in 2023, she's been 12 years cancer-free, but she also was diagnosed with Graves' disease and thyroid eye condition. And there's only one treatment for it. It's not a cure-all for anything, but it's a treatment. And it's an infusion, 8 infusions of this drug. Is called Tripeza, I believe. The first one was like $32,000. The last one was almost $250,000. That was in May of 2023. Well, in January of 2024, the thyroid eye condition came back. In February, she went to the doctor. The doctor said, Nicole, I'm sorry, there's nothing we can do until you go blind, and then we can operate. I'm thinking, man, what a prognosis.
Yeah.
So we tried to get her to study at Duke. She didn't qualify for that because she had already taken the Tripeza. But in April, we did get her into the Mayo Clinic in Rochester, Minnesota. But basically, there's nothing they can do for her. She was up there for about 4 days for testing and consultation. But basically, like I said, there's nothing they can do for her. They got a drug that may be 50% effective. It's not approved by insurance. And believe it or not, it's even more expensive than the Tripeza is.
Wow.
And that's just, so both of my kids are living day to day in misery.
Yeah.
And when I got started in this, I knew, like I said, these things, because had a very successful real estate mortgage business. And I said,
yeah,
these financial strategies that the insurance companies have, why don't people know about this? These are the greatest financial vehicles out there.
Yeah.
People tell me, well, you listen to Susie Orman and Dave Ramsey, insurance is not a good investment. Well, first off, it's not an investment.
Yeah.
It's an asset class all of its own. There's no other financial product that can provide the protection, performance, and benefits of cash value life insurance when properly
Yeah.
structured and fixed index annuity. And I'll give you
Right.
one big point. They eliminate or mitigate the risk in retirement that a stock portfolio only compounds. That's absolutely. Let me ask you this: have you ever heard of sequence of returns risk?
Sequency returns?
Sequence of returns risk.
No.
Well, don't feel lonely because 99% of the people I talk to include multimillionaires that have fee-based advisors.
Mm-hmm.
And let's say that you're 65 years of age and you go to retire and you got $1
Yeah.
million in your stock portfolio. They used to say a 4% distribution rate was a safe distribution rate to last for 30 years, indexed for inflation at 3%. Well,
Okay.
my plans go to age 120. They don't cut off in 30 years. But the problem is that 4% distribution rate, that's $40,000 a year. And that stock portfolio, that's not guaranteed.
Yeah.
What if you have a 10% loss the first year? So now your $1 million goes down to 900,000 minus the $40,000 you took out, minus the fees you pay that financial advisor, whether you make money or not. And in the next 2 to 3 years, 2008 happens again, where you lost 38 to 52%. You're going to be
Yeah.
out of money in the fifth year.
Yeah.
And when I tell people about this, and their financial advisors don't tell them, I said, why do you think that is? It's because they make a fee whether you make money or not. The
Yeah.
number one fear in retirement is running out of money before you run out of life. I
Yeah.
can eliminate
Compensation
that.
structures are incentive models. And so
Yeah,
if their incentive is
exactly
not
right.
to tell you, it's because they're getting paid to not tell you. So
Well, they're supposed to be fiduciaries looking out for their best interest of clients. I'm a certified financial fiduciary.
yeah, but regardless, the one thing you can always trust is for everybody to look out for their own self-interest.
Oh, you're right there.
So if your own self-interest is in alignment with their interests, then that's a win-win. Otherwise, someone's going to lose.
Yep. And it's always the client.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's man, that's quite the story. So how is everybody doing now?
My son looks like he's 85 years old, and my daughter's living day to day in pain.
Yeah. Yeah. So, so you had this burden of trying to like figure out, how do I take care of them? How do I make sure that, taking care of your kids, and, nothing's more stressful emotionally or more motivating for us as a parent than our own kids going through a tough time. Yeah. I remember my oldest daughter, she was born with a birth defect, that there was a rotation in her gut, and she was just always sick, throwing up, stuff like this. Well, she almost died. We didn't know this. Went and got a scan. Everything was inflamed. They're like, we have to do emergency surgery immediately. And yeah, it was pretty scary as a parent. And they had to like pull her guts out, do surgery,
Yeah.
put them back in, and she was a little kid. Now she's my oldest. I mean, she's still my oldest, but now she works for me, and in Doorgrow, which is great. So, but yeah, I remember those times. That's really scary, and I can imagine that's just really a big load on your shoulders. So, did this kind of spark you creating the strategic wealth strategies then?
Absolutely. That's my passion for this. I'm very passionate
Yeah.
about what I do. It's all about education. That's what people don't
Explain the
know.
passion. Like what gets you excited about this?
Well, educating people. That's what I did in the Army. I was an educator. I taught people how to fly. And it's just like this, educating people. I teach people to think outside the box of conventional financial planning
Yeah.
and show them the strategies that the wealthy and banking institutions have been using for years. Now, I show people how to become their own bank. I've been doing this for a decade and a half. And why don't everybody doesn't do this? I don't know why. I mean, you borrow money from yourself, you pay yourself back compound interest, and
Yeah.
not the financial institutions, and you eliminate the effective interest cost that you pay on the money that you borrow. And people, are you aware of what effective interest cost is?
No. What is that?
Banks love it. I had a gentleman who wanted to do my debt free for life plan. And I said, well,
Mm-hmm.
how much debt do you have? He said, well, we bought a new house a couple months ago, a couple car payments, a loan, and a credit card. I said, what's your interest rate on your mortgage? He said, 2.75. I said, what's your effective interest cost on that? He says, well, I don't know what you're talking about, Alan. I said, don't feel lonely. Most people don't. Fill out my form. We'll do a Zoom conference the following week. I said, you got $461,000 in debt. That's not your problem. The problem is the 49.76 effective interest cost you're paying on that 2.75% mortgage. His eyes got real big. He said, Alan, how is that possible? I said, because it's not going to get down to the 2.75 until the last couple months of the mortgage. You've got a credit card here that's over 90% effective interest cost. And even though you've got great credit, your average effective interest cost is over 46%. So my next question to him was, what financial vehicle are you investing in your 401k or anything else that gives you a 46% return on your money? Because 46 cents of every dollar that you pay out goes to compound interest for some financial institution, and that money's gone for you forever. He said, well, nothing. In fact, I lost 10%
that'd be
of my
hard to find
401k.
that much.
And then my last question was, how long can it take you to pay your debts off the way you're doing? He said, 20 some years. I said, with my tax-free bucket of money and a whole life insurance policy and our software, we're paying all your debts off 14.17 years faster, saving you $73,000 in interest. And in the 10th year, you'll be 52 years of age, and there's over $139,000 in a tax-free bucket of money that you can use to buy a new car, whatever, college education for your kids. And at that point, your death benefits over $400,000 of tax-free money to protect your family. But think about this. You don't have to put any more money in this. By the time you're 65, there'll be over $250,000 in a tax-free bucket of money that you can use to supplement your income that does not affect the taxation of Social Security or the means testing for Medicare Part B, which will be in the thousands per year. You're protected from lawsuits, liens, and judgments, and it eliminates and mitigates all the risk in retirement. I mean, this is absolutely great for real estate investors because once they build that money up in their cash value of their policy, they can take it, go buy a property, and pay themselves back. I do this all the time. I just bought 2 new cars in the last 2 years. I'm paying myself back, and I'm going to have tens of thousands of dollars more because I compounded interest for me instead of some financial institution.
Yeah. So you said multiple times, like, why aren't people doing this? Well, maybe you could answer your own question. Why aren't people doing this?
It's lack of education. It ought to be taught in high school, but it's not. I've got college professors with PhD degrees in accounting and finance. They have no idea what I'm talking about. They ask me to teach their classes.
Yeah. Got it. So there's just a lack of education on this.
That's exactly what it is.
So, yeah. Well, I mean, it sounds like something that everybody should be doing. So how does somebody get started with this, or how do they become aware of this, or what would you say are the first steps?
Well, give me a call. I don't charge for my consultation services. That's free. It's an education. And I think everybody needs to know these things because it will change their financial future, not only for them, but for their family also, and possibly generations to come.
So, Alan, it sounds like you've kind of found a passion in this. You really enjoy helping people to be able to figure this out and do this.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, I think that's noble. I think it's pretty awesome. So for those that are listening to this point, I'm going to read a quick word from our sponsor, and then Alan, I'm going to have you share your phone number so they can get in touch with you, and we can keep talking about it. So this episode is sponsored by KRS Smart Books. So if you're a property manager, are you tired of getting tangled up in numbers? KRS Smart Books has your back. They specialize in property bookkeeping for small to mid-sized managers who'd rather focus on, well, managing. With over 15 years of experience in real estate accounting, they're pros in Appfolio, Yardi, and all the top property management software. Trust them to make your monthly reports hassle-free so you can get back to what really matters, running your business. Head over to krsbooks.com to book your free discovery call. All right. So, Alan, what's the number that they should call to get in touch with you or to reach you to find?
You can call me at 910-551-1046. Email me at strategicwealth0@gmail.com. And you can always go to my website, which is www.strategicwealthstrategies.com, and you can book an appointment there. And I've got a plethora of information on that website.
Great. Thanks for sharing. So for those that are listening, some people might listen to this and go, well, that's nice, but Alan probably can only work with people that maybe have $1 million or that are ultra wealthy or lots of savings. People will listen to this and say, "Oh, that's probably not for me." What would you say to that?
Well, quite frankly, bull. I work with everybody.
Okay.
I'm formed in the military. Military people don't make a lot of money. Okay.
Right.
And I work with them, but I work with regular working people. I'll give you a perfect example. I asked people, I said, why do you contribute to a 401k? They said, well, it's a tax deduction. I said, no, it's a tax compounder. And I thought, you don't think tax is going to be higher when you retire? I got another thing coming for you.
Yeah.
See, the thing is, people don't understand. 1% of people out there don't even think there's a fee in their 401k. A 1% fee over a 30-year period will reduce your income by 1/3. The average fee in a 401k is 2.99%. Now, that's by Forbes magazine and Lap Times. People have less than 2/3 of their money, and then they get hit with taxes anywhere from 20 to over 55%, and they're not prepared for it. They're not prepared for long-term care, which costs right now between $50,000 to $200,000 a year. I can get money for that's tax-free for pennies on the dollar. It's just a matter of education.
So for the property management business owners listening, and a lot of them will have sometimes hundreds of clients that are investors and they're wanting to maximize their investments. How would this maybe benefit the property management business owners to be better educated on this and have a strategic partner like you?
Well, the thing is, you got to have a plan. If you don't have a plan, make one. But you got to have a plan and improve on it all the time. But it's just like, building up your cash value and borrowing from yourself to buy a property and then paying yourself back. That's an absolutely great thing for a real estate investor. And these property managers, I've got health and wellness programs. If you got employees over 10 employees, understand this: the employer will save anywhere from $500 to $700 a year in FICA taxes. The employee will, and the employer have 1,100 prescription drugs at zero copay. That's 20 to 30% of healthcare costs.
Yeah.
And they also have an accident indemnity program. Now, that's not for the employer, but they have a Revolution Health app. They've got the #1 telehealth app, according to J.D. Power and Associates. Plus a plethora of benefits. We have Legal Club. We have Identity Shield. It's just all at no net cost to the employer and no net cost to the employee. It's the Section 125 of the tax program.
Got it. Interesting. Okay. Well, cool. Well, what else would people generally ask about this, or should we make sure that the listeners are aware of related to this?
Well, are you risk averse? Are you conservative? It's just like when you go to retire and you've got that $1 million in a stock portfolio, the 4% distribution rate is $40,000. If you had a properly constructed fixed indexed annuity at age 65, you'd only need approximately $650,000 of that stock portfolio to give you the same $40,000 a year. That's guaranteed for the rest of your life. And we're guaranteed never to have a loss due to the market, because we're not tied to the market for our gains. We use indexing strategies. And every time that indexing strategy goes up, we have increasing income. And the older you get, the higher the distribution rate is. You can't do that with a stock portfolio. It's not even comparable.
Right. Yeah. Well, Alan, I appreciate you coming on to the Dorgo Show and bringing this to light. For those listening that are not aware, you're doing your purpose of educating. So appreciate that. And to wrap up, what final words do you have? And then again, why don't you go and share how people can get in touch with you one more time?
Okay. Well, I've got a best-selling book out right now on Amazon. It's called Tax-Free Retirement Solution. Again,
it's called
Tax-Free Retirement Solution.
Retirement Solution. Okay.
And again, you can call me at 910-551-1046. My email is strategicwealth0@gmail.com. And you can go to my website, which has a plethora. I've got videos, I've got blogs, I've got everything in there. And you can book an appointment there. It's www.strategicwealthstrategies.com.
Awesome. Alan, appreciate you being on the show. And thanks for your service. You mentioned your former military.
Well, I appreciate it.
So for those watching, if you've ever felt stuck or stagnant in your property management business, you want to take it to the next level, reach out to us at doorgrow.com. Also, be sure to join our free Facebook community just for property management business owners at doorgrowclub.com. And if you would like to get the best ideas in property management, join our free newsletter at doorgrow.com/subscribe. And if you found this even a little bit helpful, don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review. We'd really appreciate it. And until next time, remember the slowest path to growth is to do it alone. So let's